Continuing the Maimer Nasata Lieriach Nes Lisnoises that the Rebbe said on Yud Beis Tammuz Tavshin Yud Aleph. Maimer is talking about the difference between the Avodas HaBirurim and the Avodas HaNisyonos. We explained last time that there's three aspects to each concept of Birur, whether it's in the Avodah of Birurim or the Avodah of Nisyonos. One aspect is the object that the person is refining, the object that we're elevating. The second aspect is the person who has to do it, the Jew whose mission it is to elevate this object. And the third aspect is the Oifen Avodah, the manner with which he elevates the Avodah, what he does in order to elevate it. And to explain a little bit more and deeper the difference between a birur and a nisayon. In a avodah of birurim, the object exists. There's a godly spark that sustains it, that makes it come into being, because it has positivity, it has something in it for which it needs to exist. And again, in the example of something which is not kosher, non-kosher food. It's true for this person now, for the Jew, or for this particular Jew, to eat this non-kosher food is 100% forbidden, and it's bad, it's evil, it's shalosh klipas atmeis. But you can't say that the food in itself has no good in it, because it could be used for many different things in the positive world. Therefore, when a person is going to come now and elevate this piece of food, whether it's kosher food that is elevating, by making a bracha, by using it for the right thing rather than the wrong thing, or whether it's non-kosher food that is elevating, since there's something in it that could be used for the positive, so what the person now has to do is he has to deal with himself and weaken the desire and the pull to the negative, so that he realizes the truth of Elokus, the truth of godliness, and now he has something with which to hold on to this object, because it's something real. For example, the non-kosher food, it could be used for a sick person. And then it's kedusha. If a person his life's in danger, or he's sick and he needs to eat it. Or the like. And certainly kosher food has in it much that it could be used for kedusha. Now the idea is that the person should work on himself, that instead of using it in the negative way, which in the non-kosher food is eating it at all, or in the kosher food is eating it and using it in order to serve his own desires, he should use it in the positive way. Either by not eating it with it, or by eating it for the right reason with a bracha. So in other words, there is something that's there, the spark of godliness that's inside it, has its essence, and it has also its ispashtus. It has something with which it spreads out, which is also something positive. So now the person uses his ispashtus through davening and working on himself, weakening his own nefesh habamis. He uses his ispashtus, his koiches, his powers that he has in order to elevate this object. What's a nisayon, on the other hand? A nisayon is a test, meaning it's something that its entire existence is not positive. There's no positivity in it whatsoever. Not the existence, because the existence has to have some type of positivity. Everything can be used for positive. But the negative aspect of it, the fact of this being an existence, that its entire existence is to go against Hashem, to go against what Hashem wants, to go against the rules and the expressions of the Torah. Such a thing can't exist because you can't have a godly spark that sustains something which is against Hashem. The godly spark can sustain something which is an existence which can be used for the wrong thing. But the concept of something that its entire existence is against what Hashem wants, that's nothing more than an aside. Now, generally speaking, that's not an object. In the far-off case, there is such a thing. When the river that Avraham Avinu came to, there, its entire existence was just in order to stop him from serving Hashem, because the river never existed earlier. Which means that it's not a real existence. Because there is no existence against Hashem. How then is there a power for there to be something that enables a person to think that is there to stop him from serving Hashem? Because there is a godly spark, which is a very high spark, that came into this existence, enabling there to be something that should fool the person into thinking. What we call a dinyan, an imagination, a power of an imagination. But even that power of imagination has to come from something. It's from a godly spark. But that godly spark became darkened because it has no light in it whatsoever. What exists in it? Its essence. Because the essence doesn't disappear. There is the godly spark. Any light, any shine, any type of spreading of it doesn't exist. What does exist? The spark itself. So when a person has to now deal with it, he can't be dealing with his powers. He can't be dealing with his feelings, with his understanding, with his realization of how to do it. Because you can't pull out the essence of that godly spark through using the parts of your neshama which are spreading out. The only way to deal with that essence is through bringing out the essence that's within the person himself. Over there, it's not through weakening and through understanding and through feeling, etc. It's through bringing out that essence in the person that this is the way it is and there's no other way. This is what Hashem wants. And therefore the person isn't dealing with the object. He's dealing with the essence of himself. And that's the three things. The object, which in the Yisrael doesn't exist, is only that spark of godliness that enables there to be a false existence, an imaginary existence, which is only there for one purpose, that the person, and with the person the difference is, unlike by the Avedas of Birurim, where the person deals with the powers of his neshama, over here he's not dealing with that, he's dealing with his essence, who I am and what I'm about, and the Eifen Aveda, the way of the Aveda is to bring out the essential connection that I have, that this is the way it will be and that it can't be any different. And the example for that is with the Frierdiker Rebbe in prison, where he wasn't fighting with them. He said the whole point of their existence in order to stop me from doing what Hashem wants means that entire existence doesn't exist. And it's only there in order to arouse within me, bring out within me something which otherwise wouldn't be brought out within me. The essence of who I am and what I'm all about. And to understand this further, so the Rebbe says that Yisrael is connected with the Yechida Shebenefesh. The Yechida Shebenefesh is the essence of the soul. It's not like the other powers of the soul. Nefesh, Ruach, and Neshama. Nefesh is the power of action. Ruach is emotions. Neshama is intellect. Chaya Yechida is desire and pleasure. Now with regards to intellect and emotions, a person can deal, do I feel it? Do I not feel it? Do I understand it? Do I not understand it? If I do feel it or I don't feel it, I can make myself feel it. I can arouse the emotions, or I can bring about by thinking about it the intellect. But a desire or a pleasure is something which either it is or it isn't. I can't sit and discuss, do I have that desire or do I not? Do I have that pleasure or do I not? That's the reality. It either is or isn't. So I have to find out what there is within me. I have to reveal that. And that's the power of Yechidah. This spark within the person, the essence which is part of Hashem. It's not understandable. It's not something which is felt. And this is the power that specifically in the last moments of Galus was given to a Jew. Not to fight with the bad, not to fight with the negative, because it's not birurim. It's not grabbing an object and elevating it. It's nisyonis. It's something which is Hashem allowing a false apparition, a false imagination to stand in my way, so to speak, in order that I should be able to reveal in myself the Yechidah, the essence of who I am and what I'm really all about. And something which can perhaps give a little bit of an example or an understanding to this idea. The Rebbe tells a story how often there would be chassidim, they would be sitting in a town in Russia, in a small town, and they were fabreging. In the midst of the fabreging, they heard that somewhere in Moscow, in the big city, a new mimer from the Rebbe, from the Rebbe Rashab, arrived, Hanocha of a mimer. So they would go in the middle of the Fabrang, in the middle of the night, they would go over to Moscow in order to get the new mimer. And the Rebbe says it doesn't make any sense. At that time in Russia was a time of revolution. If a person was found walking in the street at night, he was right away suspect, and they didn't have to ask any questions, they would shoot him right away. If he's a Jew, they for sure don't ask any questions, and certainly people who are walking around with outwardly open Jewish garments, not hiding their Yiddishkeit with beards and long coats, etc., etc. They're going to rush to Moscow, a place where at that time there was what was called the settlement pal, that a Jew wasn't allowed to be there at night. All why? In order to get a new mimer. Instead, wait till the morning, go in a normal manner, when you're not putting your life in danger, and you'll get the new mimer. And in the meantime, for these few hours, if you need to learn Chassidus, you can learn one of the old Mamorim. And yet, the Rebbe said they had no question. They had no doubt in their mind. Because they didn't come to find out, is it the right thing or the wrong thing? They lived it. This was their existence, that they needed a Maimer Chassidus. There were no question. If there's a Maimer, it was an automatic thing, I'm going to go get it. This is the difference between Avodas HaBirurim and Avodas HaNisyonos. Avodas HaBirurim is when I'm dealing with the world, it makes sense intellectually, emotionally, because I'm dealing with a real existence, and I'm using my intellect, my emotions, through the power of davening and thinking about godliness, etc., to be able to realize that this isn't what it pretends to be. It's really godliness, and therefore I can change it and show that it's really godliness. But I can only do that with something that has an existence, with something something that has in it some other aspect which is real and which is good, then I can run away from the false and the bad of it and instead connect to the good. But in Anisoyim, and specifically the Rebbe explains to us that in our time, in the last moments of Galus, this is the main avodah. Not to deal with things that we can understand and change them that way. Not to deal with things that we can feel and change them that way. To deal with the essence. This is the reality because this is the reality, not because I understand it. To bring out this essence of the connection of a chassid to the Rebbe, and in that way of a Jew to the Eibishter, that this is what it's all about. And it's not something which needs to or should be or could be explained. It's something which is the essence that specifically because there's something that seems to stand in the way, I can reveal this essence and in that way continue on with this essence. Continue with Hashem tomorrow.